1 to 0. 1 to 1. 1 to 2. 1 to 3. 1 to 4. 2 to 4. 3 to 4. 3 to 5. 4 to 5. 4 to 6. 5 to 6. 5 to 7. 5 to 8. 6 to 8. 6 to 9. 7 to 9. 7 to 10. 8 to 10. 8 to 11. 9 to 11. 10 to 11. 10 to 12. 11 to 12. 11 to 13. 11 to 14. 11 to 15. 11 to 16. 12 to 16. 12 to 17. 12 to 18. 12 to 19. 13 to 19. 14 to 19. 14 to 20. 15 to 20. 16 to 20. 17 to 20. 18 to 20. 18. 18 to 23. To 23. 19 to 24. 19 to 25. 19 to 26. 19 to 27. 19 to 28. 20 to 28. 20 to 29. 20 to 30. 20 to 31. 21 to 31. 21 to 32. 22 to 32. 22 to 33. 23 to 33. 23 to 34. 24 to 34. 24 to 35. 25 to 35. 26 to 35. 27 to 35. 28 to 35. 29 to 35. 30 to 35. 30 to 36. 31 to 36. 31 to 37. 32 to 37. 32 to 38. 33 to 38. 33 to 39. 34 to 39. 35 to 39. 36 to 39. 36 to 40. 36 to 41. 37 to 41. 37 to 42. 38 to 42. 39 to 42. 40 to 42. 40 to 43. 40 to 44. 40 to 45. 41 to 45. 41 to 46. 42 to 46. 42 to 47. 42 to 48. 42 to 49. 43 to 49. 44 to 49. 45 to 49. 46 to 49. 46 to 50. 47 to 50. 48 to 50. 49 to 50. 50 to 50. 51 to 50. 52 to 50. 52 to 51. 52 to 52. 50 53 to 52. 54 to 52. 55 to 52. 55 to 53. 55 to 54. 55 to 55. 56 to 55. 57 to 55. 58 to 55. 59 to 55. 59 to 56. 60 to 56. 60 to 57. 61 to 57. 62 to 57. 63 to 57. 63 to 58. 63 to 59. 63 to 60. 63 to 61. 64 to 61. 64 to 62. 65 to 62. 66 to 62. 66 to 63. 67 to 63. 68 to 63. 69 to 63. 70 to 63. 70 to 64. 71 to 64. 71 to 65. 71 to 66. 71 to 67. 71 to 68. 72 to 68. 73 to 68. 73 to 69. 74 to 69. 74 to 70. 74 to 71. 74 to 72. 75 to 72. 75 to 73. 76 to 73. 77 to 73. 78 to 73. 78 to 74. 78 to 75. 78 to 76. 79 to 76. 80 to 76. 80 to 77. 81 to 77. 81 to 78. 82 to 78. 83 to 78. 83 to 79. 83 to 80. 84 to 80. 85 to 80. 85 to 81. 85 to 82. 86 to 82. 86 to 83. 87 to 83. 87 to 84. 87 to 85. 88 to 85. 88 to 86. 89 to 86. 89 to 87. 90 to 87. 90 to 88. 91 to 88. 91 to 89. 92 to 89. 93 to 89. 94 to 89. 94 to 90. 95 to 90. 96 to 90. 97 to 90. 97 to 91. 97 to 90. 98 to 92. 98 to 93. 98 to 94. 99 to 94. 99 to 95. 100 to 95. 101 to 95. 101 to 96. 102 to 96. 103 to 96. 104 to 96. 104 to 97. 104 to 98. 105 to 98. 106 to 98. 107 to 98. 108 to 98. 108 to 99. 109 to 99. 110 to 99. 111 to 99. 111 to 100. 111 to 101. 111 to 102. 111 to 103. 112 to 103. 112 to 104. 113 to 104. 113 to 105. 114 to 105. 115 to 105. 115 to 106. 116 to 106. 117 to 106. 117 to 107. 118 to 107. 118 to 108. 119 to 108. 119 to 109. 119 to 110. 120 to 110. 120 to 111. 121 to 111. 122 to 111. 123 to 111. 124 to 111. 125 to 111. 125 to 112. 126 to 112. 126 to 113. 127 to 113. 127 to 114. 127 to 115. 127 to 116. 128 to 116. 128 to 117. 129 to 117. 130 to 117. 130 to 118. 130 to 119. 130 to 120. 130 to 121. 130 to 122. 131 to 122. 131 to 123. 131 to 124. 132 to 124. 133 to 124. 133 to 125. 134 to 125. 135 to 125. 136 to 125. 136 to 126. 137 to 126. 137 to 127. 138 to 127. 138 to 128. 138 to 129. 139 to 129. 139 to 130. 140 to 130. 140 to 131. 141 to 131. 142 to 131. 142 to 132. 142 to 133. 143 to 133. 144 to 133. 145 to 133. 146 to 133. 7 to 133. 147 to 134. 147 to 135. 148 to 135. 149 to 135. 150 to 135. 150 to 136. 150 to 137. 151 to 137. 151 to 138. 152 to 138. 153 to 138. 153 to 139. 153 to 140. 154 to 140. 154 to 141. 155 to 141. 155 to 142. 156 to 142. 157 to 142. 158 to 142. 159 to 142. 160 to 142. 161 to 142. 162 to 142. 162 to 143. 162 to 144. 163 to 144. 163 to 145. 164 to 145. 165 to 145. 165 to 146. 166 to 146. 166 to 147. 167 to 147. 167 to 148. 168 to 148. 169 to 148. 170 to 148. 170 to 149. 171 to 149. 172 to 149. 172 to 150. 172 to 151. 172 to 152. 172 to 153. 173 to 153. 173 to 154. 174 to 154. 174 to 155. 174 to 156. 175 to 156. 176 to 156. 177 to 156. 177 to 157. 177 to 158. 177 to 159. 178 to 159. 179 to 159. 180 to 159. 181 to 159. 182 to 159. 182 to 160. 182 to 161. 182 to 162. 182 to 163. 183 to 163. 184 to 163. 184 to 164. 185 to 164. 185 to 165. 186 to 165. 186 to 166. 187 to 166. 188 to 166. 189 to 166. 189 to 167. 189 to 168. 189 to 169. 189 to 170. 189 to 171. 190 to 171. 190 to 172. 191 to 172. 191 to 173. 193 191 to 174. 192 to 174. 192 to 175. 192 to 176. 193 to 176. 194 to 176. 194 to 177. 194 to 178. 194 to 179. 195 to 179. 195 to 180. 195 to 181. 195 to 182. 196 to 182. 196 to 183. 196 to 184. 197 to 184. 198 to 184. 198 to 185. 199 to 185. 199 to 186. 199 to 187. 199 to 188. 200 to 188. 201 to 188. 202 to 188. 203 to 188. 200 189. 204 to 189. 205 to 189. 205 to 190. 205 to 191. 206 to 191. 206 to 192. 206 to 193. 206 to 194. 207 to 194. 207 to 195. 207 to 196. 208 to 196. 208 to 197. 208 to 198. 209 to 198. 209 to 199. 209 to 200. 209 to 201. 209 to 202. 209 to 203. 210 to 203. 210 to 204. 210 to 205. 211 to 205. 211 to 206. 212 to 206. 213 to 206. 213 to 207. 214 to 207. 214 to 208. 214 to 209. 214 to 210. 214 to 211. 215 to 211. 215 to 212. 216 to 212. 217 to 212. 218 to 212. 218 to 213. 218 to 214. 219 to 214. 219 to 215. 220 to 215. 221 to 215. 222 to 215. 222 to 216. 223 to 216. 223 to 217. 223 to 218. 224 to 218. 224 to 219. 224 to 220. 225 to 220. 225 to 221. 226 to 221. 227 to 221. 227 to 222. 228 to 222. 228 to 223. 229 to 223. 229 to 224. 229 to 225. 229 to 226. 229 to 227. 230 to 227. 230 to 228. 231 to 228. 231 to 229. 232 to 229. 233 to 229. 233 to 230. 233 to 231. 234 to 231. 235 to 231. 236 to 231. 237 to 231. 238 238 to 231. 239 to 231. 240 to 231. 241 to 231. 242 to 231. 243 to 231. 243 to 232. 244 to 232. 244 to 233. 244 to 234. 245 to 234. 245 to 235. 246 to 235. 246 to 236. 247 to 236. 248 to 236. 248 to 237. 248 to 238. 249 to 238. 249 to 239. 250 to 239. 251 to 239. 251 to 240. 251 to 241. 252 to 241. 253 to 241. 254 to 241. 255 to 241. 255 to 242. 256 to 242. 257 to 242. 258 to 242. 258 to 243. 258 to 244. 258 to 245. 258 to 246. 258 to 247. 259 to 247. 259 to 248. 259 to 249. 260 to 249. 261 to 249. 262 to 249. 260 to 249. 263 to 250. 264 to 250. 264 to 251. 264 to 252. 264 to 253. 265 to 253. 265 to 254. 266 to 254. 266 to 255. 266 to 256. 267 to 256. 268 to 256. 268 to 257. 268 to 258. 269 to 258. 270 to 258, 270 to 259, 271 to 259, 271 to 260, 271 to 261, 271 to 262, 271 to 263, 272 to 263, 273 to 263, 274 to 263, 275 to 263, 275 to 264, 276 to 264, 276 to 265, 276 to 266, 276 to 267, 277 to 267, 277 to 268, 277 to 269, 278 to 269, 278 to 270, 279 to 270, 280 to 270, 281 to 270, 282 to 270, 282 to 271, 283 to 271, 284 to 271, 285 to 271, 285 to 272, 286 to 272, 286 to 273, 287 to 273, 287 to 274, 288 to 274, 288 to 275, 288 to 276, 288 to 277, 288 to 278, 289 to 278, 290 to 278, 291 to 278, 291 to 279, 291 to 280, 292 to 280, 293 to 280, 294 to 280, 294 to 281, 294 to 282, 295 to 282, 296 to 282, 296 to 283, 297 to 283, 297 to 284, 298 to 284, 299 to 284. 299 to 285. 299 to 286. 300 to 286. 300 to 287. 300 to 288. 301 to 288. 302 to 288. 303 to 288. 304 to 288. 305 to 288. 306 to 288. 307 to 288. 307 to 289. 308 to 289. 309 to 289. 309 to 290. 310 to 290. 311 to 290. 311 to 291. 311 to 292. 312 to 292. 313 to 292. 314 to 292. 314 to 293. 314 to 294. 315 to 294. 316 to 294. 317 to 294. 318 to 294. 319 to 294. 320 to 294. 321 to 294. 322 to 294. 323 to 294. 324 to 294. 324 to 295. 324 to 296. 324 to 297. 325 to 297. 325 to 298. 325 to 299. 325 to 300. 325 to 301. 325 to 302. 326 to 302. 327 to 302. 328 to 302. 328 to 303. 328 to 304. 328 to 305. 329 to 305. 330 to 305. 331 to 305. 331 to 306. 332 to 306. 333 to 306. 333 to 307. 333 to 308. 333 to 309. 334 to 309. 334 to 310. 334 to 311. 335 to 311. 336 to 311. 336 to 312. 336 to 313. 336 to 314. 337 to 314. 337 to 315. 338 to 315. 339 to 315. 340 to 315. 341 to 315. 341 to 316. 341 to 317. 342 to 317. 343 to 317. 343 to 318. 343 to 319. 343 to 320. 343 to 321. 344 to 321. 345 to 320. 345 to 322. 335 to 323. 345 to 324. 346 to 324. 347 to 324. 348 to 324. 348 to 325. 348 to 326. 349 to 326. 350 to 326. 351 to 326. 351 to 327. 352 to 327. 352 to 328. 352 to 329. 353 to 329. 353 to 330. 353 to 330. 353 to 332. 354 to 332. 355 to 332. 356 to 332. 356 to 333. 357 to 333. 358 to 333. 358 to 334. 359 to 330. 359 to 335. 359 to 336. 359 to 337. 360 to 337. 360 to 338. 360 to 339. 360 to 340. 360 to 341. 361 to 341. 362 to 341. 362 to 342. 363 to 342. 363 to 343. 364 to 343. 365 to 343. 366 to 343. 366 to 344. 366 to 345. 367 to 345. 367 to 340. 368 to 346. 369 to 304. 369 to 347. 370 to 347. 370 to 348. 371 to 348. 372 to 348. 373 to 348. 374 to 348. 374 to 349. 375 to 340. 376 to 349. 377 to 349. 378 to 349. 379 to 349. 379 to 350. 380 to 350. 380 to 351. 380 to 352. 381 to 352. 382 to 352. 382 to 353. 383 to 353. 384 to 353. 385 to 353. 386 to 353. 386 to 354. 386 to 355. 387 to 355. 387 to 356. 388 to 356. 389 to 356. 390 to 356. 391 to 356. 392 to 356. 392 to 357. 392 to 350. 392 to 359. 392 to 360. 392 to 361. 392 to 362. 392 to 363. 392 to 364. 393 to 364. 394 to 360. 394 to 365. 395 to 365. 396 to 365. 396 to 366. 397 to 366. 397 to 367. 397 to 368. 398 to 368. 399 to 368. 400 to 368. 400 to 369. 401 to 369. 402 to 369. 403 to 369. 403 to 370. 404 to 370. 405 to 370. 406 to 370. 406 to 371, 407 to 371, 407 to 372, 408 to 372, 408 to 373, 409 to 373, 410 to 373, 411 to 373, 411 to 374, 411 to 375, 412 to 375, 413 to 375, 414 to 375, 414 to 376, 414 to 377, 414 to 378, 415 to 378, 416 to 378, 416 to 379, 417 to 379, 418 to 379, 418 to 380, 418 to 381, 418 to 382, 419 to 382, 420 to 382, 421 to 382, 422 to 382, 422 to 383, 422 to 384, 423 to 384, 423 to 385, 424 to 385, 424 to 386, 424 to 387, 425 to 387, 425 to 388, 425 to 389, 425 to 390, 425 to 391, 425 to 392, 425 to 393, 426 to 393, 426 to 394, 426 to 395, 427 to 395, 428 to 395, 428 to 396, 429 to 396, 430 to 396, 430 to 397, 431 to 397, 431 to 398, 432 to 398, 432 to 399, 433 to 399, 433 to 400, 434 to 400, 434 to 401, 434 to 402, 435 to 402, 435 to 403, 436 to 403, 437 to 403, 438 to 403, 438 to 404, 439 to 404, 440 to 404, 441 to 404. 441 to 405. 441 to 406. 441 to 407. 441 to 408. 442 to 408. 443 to 408. 444 to 408. 445 to 408. 445 to 409. 445 to 410. 446 to 410. 447 to 410. 448 to 410. 448 to 411. 448 to 412. 448 to 413. 448 to 414. 448 to 415. 448 to 416. 448 to 417. 449 to 417. 450 to 417. 451 to 417. 452 to 417. 452 to 418. 453 to 418. 453 to 419. 453 to 420. 453 to 421. 453 to 422. 454 to 422. 455 to 422. 455 to 423. 456 423. 457 to 423. 458 to 423. 458 to 424. 458 to 425. 458 to 426. 458 to 427. 459 to 427. 459 to 428. 459 to 429. 459 to 430. 460 to 430. 461 to 430. 461 to 431. 462 to 431. 462 to 432. 462 to 433. 462 to 434. 463 to 434. 463 to 435. 463 to 436. 463 to 437. 463 to 438. 463 to 439. 464 to 439. 465 to 439. 466 to 439. 467 to 439, 467 to 440, 467 to 441, 468 to 441, 468 to 442, 469 to 442, 470 to 442, 470 to 443, 470 to 444, 471 to 444, 472 to 444, 473 to 444, 474 to 444, 475 to 444, 475 to 445, 475 to 446, 475 to 447, 476 to 447, 476 to 448, 476 to 449, 477 to 449, 478 to 449, 478 to 450, 479 to 450, 479 to 451, 480 to 451, 480 to 452, 480 to 453, 481 to 453, 482 to 453, 482 to 454, 482 to 455, 483 to 455, 484 to 455, 485 to 455, 486 to 455, 487 to 455, 487 to 456, 487 to 457, 488 to 457, 488 to 458, 489 to 458, 490 to 458, 490 to 459, 491 to 459, 491 to 460, 492 to 460, 493 to 460, 494 to 460, 494 to 461, 494 to 462, 495 to 462, 495 to 463, 496 to 463, 496 to 464, 497 to 464, 498 to 464, 498 to 465, 499 to 465, 499 to 466, 500 to 466,